All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for the support. Um, Leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever, blah blah blah. I recently posted a video where I had an audio bug where my mic just kept flicking on and off, which is really weird because when I'm looking at it, there's nothing going on. So I'm just gonna redo everything and try my best. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up again. And yeah, let's get right into it. um, so when I started off my last video, I basically said that the Lion Guard, this is a mod 18 and 19 prep. I mean, sorry, mod 18 build, and things you can do to make it into a mod 19 build, and we'll get right into that. So for the helmet, I'm running Lion Guard. It's actually still good in mod 19. It's probably still best in slot. There are a few better options as well, so you can switch it up a bit. There still isn't a better chest piece than Ebony Stained Robes. You can never go wrong with 10% more power. This is starting to get annoying because this has been going on for 10 mods now. 4 mods, so sorry. Arms, Lion Guard arms, still best in slot apparently. I mean, obviously in mod 19 it's still in Avernus, so it's still going to be, this is probably the highest iron level gear, somewhat. Lionheart, as the weapons, it's still second best in slot. Um, Even in mod 19, because mod 19 Lionheart got buffed a bit. I think it has over 500 more weapon damage or something like that, and it's still second best in slot. Legion Guard is third best in slot, and the best in slot weapons in mod 19 is the new trial set. Boots, you're no longer using Rusty Iron leggings. There are better boots in mod 19 that help you out since incoming heal did get nerfed and healers are having a really hard time. There's no way in hell you can use these boots anymore in mod 19, so go ahead and get rid of that. There are a few boots that give you power based off of how close you are to the target or how high your stamina is, and also it gives you more HP as well, since you need more HP in the new mod. We'll get into that in a second. Artifact set, I am running the Call of Evil set. It's actually best in slot in mod 19, and so it will be for the new trial as well, since it gives you 5% damage against demons, devils, and fiends. For the 3 artifact set, I'm using the Storyteller Journals. These are probably best in slot and will always be best in slot just because of the action point generation and the bonus damage you get, etc. But obviously in the new mod, you'd probably want to run a debuff artifact such as like the Blast Scepter, the Serpent, etc. There's a bunch of debuff artifacts in this game that you could run. I'm running 2 Guiding Rings. These rings basically just cap out my accuracy once you have 3 bondings and rank 15s in. For the shirt and pants, I would highly recommend you to change these out for the new shirt and pants just so you can increase your HP. Yeah, and for the defensive slots, I would run Radiance. Radiance give you maximum HP. And then for your utilities, Dark Enchantments, since mod 19 is coming out, Incoming Heal did get nerfed and so did Outgoing Heal. So there's really no point in running tacticals unless you're a support. And so yeah, having Radiance basically increase your maximum HP. I mean, you need Radiance for mod 19 to have over 400,000 health points. HP is a big thing now in mod 19. You need way more HP than you do have now. You need over 400k, so there are a few ways to do that. Obviously, defensive slots you will run Radiance, and offensive slots you will run Radiance as well. And for the weapon, this basically gives you 10% more damage based on what you choose. I would choose Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost increases damage done by Ray of Frost by 10%. This is probably best slot since your main at-will for single target is Ray of Frost. For the offhand, hey, let me just show you over here. I do have a watcher set that I was using for a while. So for the offhand, I would recommend Critical Strike. Critical Severity, 10% crit severity. You can never go wrong with that. And I would change the power to health points. 2.5k power isn't a lot at all. Probably when you have over 100, once you have over 200k power, this is probably about 0.8% more damage or something like that. So it really doesn't matter if you're an end-game player. Even as a new player, 2.5k power is not a lot, so there's really no point. I would just go with the health. Health would really help you out, especially if you bought Metallic Dragonborn. This would be 3% more, so if you get 10,000 health, you'd have, obviously, I think 300 more HP. I could be completely wrong. Alright, and yep, for the weapon enchantment slots, I would run Vorpal, Bile, or Lightning. Vorpal would be the best in slot for overall DPS for single target AoE. Bilethorn would still be better than single target. Honestly, Vorpal would probably do better than most of the current things in mod 19. So I would probably go with Vorpal. I mean, Bilethorn still isn't bad. Bilethorn's probably still best in slot for single target. I just don't know how to do tests on PC, but this is how it's going to be now. So Vorpal, Bilethorn, or Lightning. For your reinforcements, for anything below on the left side would be power. Anything on the right side would be combat advantage. Alright, let's get into powers. My outwills, I use Ray of Frost and Storm Pillar. For my encounter powers, this is my AoE loadout. I don't know why. It would be like this. Alright, so for my encounter powers for single target would be Repel, Entangling Force, Raven Female on my tab power, and Disintegrate. And then for my dailies, your main daily you should be using for single target is Arcane Empowerment. And just have Ice Knife, just in case you want to mess around. For class features, I'm using Chilling Presence and Storm Spell. Chilling Presence just for Ray of Frost, and Storm Spell just for that extra magnitude damage. It procs a lot, in all honesty. Still, even after the slight adjustment or whatever. For feats, I'm using Spell Twisting, Snap Freeze, Chaos Magic, Striking Advantage, and A Step Above Mastery. Alright. And also for the race, I chose Metallic Dragonborn. It is probably the best in slot race now since mod 19 released. Obviously, you get 3% higher maximum hit points. That's a lot in total once you add everything up. 3% more damage and 1500 crit strike. If you don't want to use this, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, I get it. They're ugly. I don't even like Dragonborn, but it is the best in slot race. And you can make do with it. You can honestly make it look good. You just have to try your best. For the boons, I would go all power and hit points. I wouldn't worry about any of these armor pen and combat advantage, any of these other stats besides power and hit points. I wouldn't worry about, because honestly you can cap out your stats just from your bondings and your darks. And for your tier 5 boons, I run crit severity and action point gain. Honestly, you can switch these out if you want. You can switch out action point gain for more incoming heal if you really want to, but I wouldn't worry about it. And for my mastery boon, I would choose Focus Retaliation over Bloodlust. For some reason, Focus Retaliation does more damage when it comes to single target boss fights like Tower of the Mad Mage, so it's probably still going to be best to slot in the new trial as well. And I don't really care about any other, like Deathly Rage is alright, but most fights don't really last that long when it comes to trash mobbing. It only matters, your builds really only matter when it comes to being able to do the most damage out in bosses. I mean, trash mobbing is pretty easy to do. It doesn't really matter what kind of gear you have. You can easily trash mob as long as you meet the stat caps and you got a decent healer. But survivability and more damage is more important, so yeah. Oh, also I forgot, for my armor enchantment slot, I highly recommend a Bark Shield or a Blood Theft. Bark Shield in case you have low sustain and you can't take a hit and you don't have enough HP, use the Bark Shield. If you have enough HP and you want to survive, since in mod 19 healers really suck for some reason, well, not for some reason, they got nerfed like shit, so I would recommend a Blood Theft. Blood Theft's really good when it comes to keeping yourself alive. You don't need the healer to do it for you, and yeah, make it easier on the healers as well. Also for utilities, I did say darks. Darks will help you stat cap in case you're having trouble. I know you can still use tacticals, but tacticals really have become really useless. It used to be 6% rank 15, now it's only 2%, so there's really no point. It basically got over a 70% nerf, I guess. I don't know. Alright, for your companions, um, this all just depends on you, on what you want to do, what you want to tweak. I run a bullet pup. Um, Obviously, you have 3 bondings here, and then the gear you'd want to run, since if you are following this strict build where it's 2 guiding rings, the build you'd probably want to run is a defense, combat advantage piece, armor pen, crit strike, and combat advantage piece. Those are the pieces you want to run. Obviously, you can make adjustments on whatever your build is, but really, you can't have one singular build unless you all like level up the same exact time and have the same exact gear. For some reason, it's always a bit different for everybody. So yeah, and then at the end of the day, everything is based off of drops. So if you don't get the drops, then you're stuck. But yeah, darks will help you reach your 90k stat cap. For the Stronghold Boons, I'd recommend critical severity over power. I mean, obviously if you're low level, power would do you better, but if you're a higher level, critical severity. For a defense boon, I use defense, but if you can stat cap to 90k without defense, then go for the hit points. I'm telling you guys now, mod 19, you need hit points. Your healer can't do everything for you anymore. They can't help you anymore, so get as much hit points as you can. Utility, obviously mount speed, PvP doesn't really matter. Alright, now mounts. I use Swarm. 10k power. You can change this for 25k HP or 50k HP. You have the the bear. I think the black bear gives you 25k HP. Or armored bear, one or the other. And then you have the Triceratops, which gives you 25k HP. And then you have the legendary warrior Triceratops, which gives you 50,000 in maximum hit points. For the stable, I'd recommend brutalities and dominances. Brutalities give you armor pen and power, or power and armor pen. And then dominances give you power and companion influence. Now for the Insignia Bonuses, this is where you change it up a bit. Usually you run like 2 Gladiator's Guile and maybe 1 Artificer's Persuasion, whatever else. But now in mod 19, you probably want to run Knight's Rebuke, Barbarian's Revelry. So maybe 1 Knight's Rebuke, 1 Barbarian's Revelry, 1 Artificer's Persuasion. It's just this right here. When you use an artifact, your cooldown's reduced by 2 seconds. And Gladiator's Guile, that is 4. So I'd recommend to switch up, and instead of 1 Barbarian's Revelry, I would run 2. I know it is halved, I think, when you slot 2 Insignia Bonuses, so this will be 1.5% instead of 2% when you stack 2. These are just good for survivability. In mod 19, you can't have the healer do everything for you anymore, so you have to do it yourself. So yeah, what else did I miss anything? No, I don't think I did. I think I talked about everything I needed to. Yep. Alright. So let's get into rotation. Obviously, Rare Frost for about 2 seconds. Entangling Forest, Disintegrate, etc. And you just spam along. That's basically your rotation. Here, let me show you. Let me get full cooldowns up and show you like a burst rotation. You can switch it up a bit. I mean, there are multiple builds in this game where one works better than the other, I think. But this is just what I use and what works for me. So, Ray of Frost, Artifact, Swarm, this, and then just use spam away. And yep, that is your rotation until your daily runs out. Then you're stuck doing this again. Obviously, you have more action point regeneration when you're fully maxed out, but clearly I'm missing a lot of things. So yeah. But so what you want to aim for your stat wise? Oh, I did forget something. This build video is all over the place. Put your points into Dex and Intelligence. You can maximize these by using Dragonborn as well. Obviously, power doesn't stop. You want 90k armor pen, 90k defense, 90k accuracy, and 140k combat advantage for the new mod. Highly recommend to max out your armor pen, your accuracy, and your defense. Crit strike is probably, I mean, it's good to have crit strike, so max it out. You do need, it is something you do need to have maxed out. So yeah, but crit strike can almost be capped, and so can accuracy. But armor pen is probably the most needed because the fact that you don't want enemies to be deflecting your attacks or you not being able to go through their armor. And yeah, that's about it for the video. Thank you all for watching, and peace.